Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast, where I give you practical Stoic advice for modern times. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/Simon Drew. I also do one-on-one mindset coaching, and you can book in your first free consultation by going to risetothegoodlife.com/coaching. On Facebook, you can join my group, the Practical Stoic Mastermind. But for now, enjoy this episode. Hi there, my name's Simon Drew, and welcome to the Practical Stoic Podcast. In the many months that I've been doing this podcast, there has been one question that comes up repeatedly. And I know that it's a question that many of you will want to know the answer to. The question is this: how can I develop greater discipline? And there is a perfectly good reason why this question is on everybody's minds. Discipline is important. Without discipline, we can't get ahead or grow or improve. Without discipline, babies wouldn't get past the stage of crawling. Without discipline, none of us could progress in our careers or improve in our relationships or better our health. It seems to be something that all of us have naturally. Otherwise, most of us would be completely and utterly helpless in this world. But some have more discipline than others, or so it seems. And this is why we ask this question. Because no matter how much discipline we currently think that we have, there's always room for more. And there's a reason why it's taken me so long to answer this question. I fell victim to the human condition that leads us all to overcomplicating simple problems. And so I felt like, seeing as this was a commonly asked question, there had to be a deeper and more complicated answer. But you see, the answer to this question turned out to be simpler than I thought it would be. And when I really thought about it, I realized that discipline is very much like virtue, in that people tend to overcomplicate and misunderstand it. So let me explain. Most people think that there are big secrets to being a virtuous person. But the fact is that virtue isn't something that you either have or you don't. Virtue is a dynamic and fluctuating state that depends entirely on your individual choices from moment to moment, day to day. We are virtuous when we make virtuous choices, and we are unvirtuous when we make unvirtuous choices. And there are really only two steps towards becoming that person who makes virtuous choices. The first step being get educated on what's the best choice, and then the second step is make the right choice. And what I've realized is that the same is true of discipline, in that a person can only be disciplined in individual moments of decision. Each choice in your life is either disciplined or not. And so the goal shouldn't be to become more disciplined, which can suggest a deeper and more complex path, but rather the goal for all of us should be to simply make more highly disciplined choices than we are currently making. It's as simple as that. Marcus Aurelius said, "Stop talking about what a good man is like, and just be one." This may seem like a simple code to live by, but it's the code that most of us need to hear. If you want to live a better life, then you should make better choices. If you want to be virtuous, then you should probably start making more virtuous choices. And likewise, if you want to be more disciplined, then the key is to make more disciplined choices. There is no magic formula that will make it easier for you to get out of bed in the morning. And there's no secret bridge between having two options and choosing the better one. We live only in moments, and in those moments we are offered choices. Some of those choices lead to immediate gratification, for example, sleeping in past your alarm, while other choices will lead to long-term satisfaction and progress, such as reading one book per week. There's nothing that I can tell you that will make it easier for you to make those better decisions. But what I can suggest is that you simplify the process in your mind. Stop looking for secrets to becoming a more disciplined person and start focusing on simply making more highly disciplined choices. When you do this, something will happen. You'll become addicted to the feeling and the results that come when you make those more disciplined choices. For example, when you become more disciplined with your eating habits, then eventually you'll see both physical and mental benefits from eating good foods. You'll feel good and you'll look good, and as a result, you'll be more likely to make that same disciplined choice the next time. And maybe because you look and feel better, you'll start running every week, or you'll join a gym and start working out, because you have that mental and physical energy that you didn't have before. And the same goes for getting up early, or reading, or studying, or exercising, or anything else that may seem difficult but that will also lead to positive results in your life. When you make these choices, you're effectively setting events into motion that will bring good things into your life. And when you see the results of your disciplined choices, then you will want to make more of those choices. This podcast is a perfect example of discipline in my own life. When I started the show, my goal was simple: produce 2 podcasts every week that can help people to live a better life through the study and practice of Stoicism. As I've continued creating these podcasts, there have been days when I really didn't want to sit down and write an episode for 1 or 2 hours, followed by an hour of recording and editing. But because I have seen how many people are listening around the world, and because I have received messages from people everywhere telling me how much these short episodes are changing their lives, it's a simple choice for me. I need to sit down and do the work. It may not always be easy, but it is simple. And that's really the key here. It may not be easy to make the best choices in your life, but it is simple. Simply choose, in the moments, will you make the disciplined choice, or will you make an undisciplined choice? There are many of these decisions that we need to make each day, and no matter how big or small, each decision will define the life that we live and the people who we become. And so for some of you who maybe don't make that many disciplined choices in your life right now, you may be asking, where do I start? And I would say this: start small and start today. Think of one thing right now that you've been putting off. Think of something small that could drastically improve your life if you would just start. And start today. You have the choice, you have the knowledge, and you have the accountability. Now all that's left to do is to make the right choice. If you've been wanting to learn from the Stoics, then start by reading 1 page per day, starting now. If you've wanted to start journaling, start 1 day per week, starting today. If you've been wanting to eat healthier, change your breakfast. That's all it will take. Just make that baby step at first, at least until you start seeing the results. And when you're making those hard choices that will lead to a better life, remember the wise words of Marcus Aurelius that I mentioned earlier. Stop talking about what a good man is like and just be one. Stop tricking yourself into believing that you're not disciplined. You can be disciplined if you will simply make the right choice. Stop talking about the person who you want to be and start making the choices that will lead you to being that person who you want to be. We need to stop overcomplicating the process. Make the right choice and see the results. Rinse and repeat. That's how you develop discipline. I'll talk to you next time, but until then, I hope that this episode has helped you on your rise to the good life. Ciao. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Practical Stoic Podcast. I hope it's been valuable for you. And if you'd like to support the show, then you can go to patreon.com/Simon Drew. If you'd like to try mindset coaching with me, then you can book your first free consultation by going to risetothegoodlife.com/coaching. To join the community, just go to Facebook and search for the Practical Stoic Mastermind. The links to all of these places are included in the show notes, but for now, this is Simon Drew signing out.